He came to PCD at the age of 14, unschooled, as he likes to say, but by no means without serious academic achievements. Up until then, he had the childhood that most of us can only dream of, 14 years to follow wherever his passions led him. In John's case, this led to a serious interest in nature study, in particular to a passion for birding. At age 14, John took PCD by storm, and in each of his 4 years here, met with great success in all areas of school life. After graduating from Country Day, he matriculated at Colby College, where he was inducted into the Phi Beta Kappa Society. He graduated this May with a dual major in classics and cultural anthropology, achieving the uncommon distinction of receiving an award for excellence in both majors. At college, John did not, however, just lock himself up with his books. He pursued interest in music by starting a band. He co-founded an animal rights group. He expanded his educational experience with a semester in Greece. I have tremendous respect and admiration for the Shangoshian family I've known for years, and am very pleased that John accepted our invitation to give this year's cum laude address. Please join me in welcoming one of our own from the class of 2017, John Shangoshian.
My friends, I'm highly gratified at this magnificent display of effusion. It feels surreal to be standing here. Well do I remember being in your very shoes when I too was inducted into the Cum Laude Society. It was an honor then, and it's an honor now. So thank you all very much for having me. Congratulations to all of you. Welcome to the club. When I started composing this speech many moons ago, I wanted to deliver a grand old thesis for you to ponder and digest. But after writing my first draft, I realized it wasn't fair to any of us. I mean, it's summer, isn't it? You've probably all written more thesis statements this year than you'd like to remember, and I know I have. So I clicked select all in the first draft, and then I clicked delete, and I started over again. I want to assure all of you, from the get-go, that this speech has no main point, no overarching themes, and absolutely no thesis. I think it's really much better this way, and I hope you all agree. I'm going to tell you a bit about my life since graduating from Country Day, and share with you one of the dominant narratives that has emerged from my time at college. There's nothing particularly remarkable about it. There's nothing particularly remarkable about me. I'm just some guy, you know? But I've always had a fondness for hearing other people's stories, no matter how dull or how drear, and now I get to be the storyteller. So woo-wee! This is bound to be fun, let me tell you. Anyhow, here I am, and there you are, so let's get started. I graduated PCD in 2017. To be honest, I never really thought I'd make it. I thought I'd get kicked out for cheating, though I never ever cheated, or I'd get banned from campus for eating oyster crackers in the library, which I did thrice daily. I just didn't think I'd make it to graduation, but I did. We all do. It just sort of happens. You live your life from one day to the next, and suddenly there you are, waving your fresh diploma in the air, feeling like a modern-day titan of studying, conqueror of tests, slayer of essays, like an all-around A+ youth. At least that's how I felt. The funny thing is that I had that same mindset when I got to college. I tend to be a pessimist who overcompensates with optimism. I was sure I was bound to lose, to fail my classes, get sent home in the first month with broken teeth, lesions in my liver, and an ego so shattered that all the king's horses and all the king's men could never put it all back together again. But the lesson I learned from my remarkable graduation from PCD held true. Lo and behold, I graduated college too. It just sort of happens. You live your life from one day to the next, and suddenly there you are, waving your fresh bachelor's degree in the air, feeling like a modern-day titan of studying, conqueror of exams, slayer of papers, like an all-around A+ youth. At least that's how I felt. I know that not all of you will be going to college, for one reason or another. That's wonderful. Go where you will, do as you please, and live life like it's got no purpose but the present. You're all going to be just fine. That said, I'm going to talk about college, because what I know is college, and so college is what I'm going to talk about. I matriculated to Colby College. Perhaps some of you juniors and some of you seniors have heard of it. It's got a pretty little residential campus at the top of Mayflower Hill, looking out over Perkins Arboretum to Waterville and the Kennebec River Valley. And this is all in the state of Maine, by the way. Colby sits at the border between, to the west, the Maine of pickup trucks, organic farms, and fur-spangled meese. And to the east, the Maine of puffins, Bostonites, and groves upon groves of summer tourists. It really is quite a nice place to be. For one thing, it's plenty of hiking. The Colby Outing Club is the biggest organization on campus. Their hikes have a better attendance rate than any course in the curriculum, even rocks for jocks. I did my fair share of hiking, particularly during my first and second years of college, but I found my truest calling on campus playing music with friends. Those of you who've taken classes with my dad, or friends with my siblings, or both, might know that us jams have a thing for music. I myself play mandolin. It's a pretty little instrument with maple sides, a sunburst finish, and 2 swirling F-holes. Everyone has their paths to friendship, those interests, those hobbies, and those bizarre enthusiasms that define you and bring you together with others. So it was with me and my mandolin. By the beginning of January of my very first year, I had established a group of people to jam with on campus. The membership consisted of Luke Kelly on guitar, Connor LaBelle on guitar, and myself, and boy did we stink, and not for lack of showers. With them, my sophomore year was a year of wild, comical, and most definitely stupid adventures. During sophomore year, our little jam session was augmented by Carl Lackner, tickler of keys, and Silas Olson, sling-picking mando plucker after my own heart. And thus our little jam session became 5 strong. Then did we call ourselves a band. Luke named us the Wooden Spoons, and Connor named us Peanut Jelly, and through this happy union, Wooden Jelly, Spoon, and Peanut was born. Go follow us on Instagram when you get a chance later today. Now, it was a hard and a rocky path for the band starting out. Our first gig was a college talent show called the International Extravaganza. We played the city of New Orleans to a packed house, and oh how loud and oh how sweet was the thunderous applause. Our next gig was at the Asian Night Market in Foss Dining Hall. No one listened at all. So wags the world. One minute you're up and the next you're down, but we really didn't mind. The thing is, Wooden Jelly, Spoon, and Peanut didn't play for applause, or even for money, though we did start earning some money in our junior year, I will say that. We played because we enjoyed making music together. For me, music was a lifeline in college. It was my chief source of friendship, and so many of my closest friends were musicians. It was a way for me to relax, let loose, play loud, dance and sway, skip, hop, and wobble, wake the neighbors, shake the walls, play till dawn, revel in the tiny revelations of each new note. Playing music with friends is always fun. But the band filled a particularly special role in my life for another reason. It took time away from homework. Those of you who know me know that I am an obsessive, perfectionist sort of student. Without music, I would have typed my heart out on every assignment and faded away into an abstract realm of principal parts and post-colonialist theory from which, believe you me, there is no return. In college, I burnt myself out every single semester. Sometimes I burnt myself out so badly that I would literally collapse, too exhausted and too emotionally spent to move. It would have been worse without the band. The weekend gigs at a Togolese restaurant in downtown Waterville that we started playing in my junior year meant that I had to set aside work for our Thursday and Friday rehearsals and for our Saturday night shows. Music became a way for me to hold myself accountable, a way for me to put a check on my obsessive studying that once knew no boundaries. A lesson I learned from my college band is that letting go of perfectionism does wonders. To be clear, I'm not promoting a doctrine of inertia. Don't just lie back, sip a soothing warm beverage, and fall asleep cozy in the knowledge that your connections and your financial security will get you by. I mean, those things, they might get you by, but no one gets smart off the size of their wallet, and character doesn't grow uncultivated. Your personality is a lifelong journey that requires conscious self-reflection, that requires the ability to respond to criticism, that requires a willingness to grow. It's a rough and it's a rocky path, and it's a long, hard path to walk. A lesson I learned from my college band was that being a perfectionist and burning myself out every single semester didn't mean I was walking that path any faster. So walk hard and never pause for rest, but know you're going somewhere and know you're getting there. Your energy is too precious to be wasted. When my senior year at Colby College came around, things were different than before. You all and I have a narrative in common here. We finished our classes in spite of the coronavirus. The pandemic took a lot out of me, and must have taken a lot out of you. For some of you, I know that it's taken even more. But we made it through classes, right? The thing that was hardest for me to give up during the pandemic was my time with the band. I was getting tested thrice weekly, just like the rest of campus, but for better or for worse, I'm still that sort of person who practices their moral codes as much for the sake of their own conscience as for the sake of the well-being of others. So it was for me in COVID. I backed out of every social commitment that would entail less than 6 feet of social distance, every social commitment that wasn't outdoors, and every social commitment that exposed people's chins. The band was first to go. Yes, I know we had a good run, but it had to be done. There were 11 members playing restaurant gigs in the middle of a pandemic, and then there were 10. Like a puff of wind, so passes the glory of the world. Sic transit gloria mundi, right, Dad? I admit that I filled the void left by the band in harmful ways. I obsessed over my schoolwork like never before. My senior thesis sapped me of every last ounce of creativity and playfulness. But in a way, my relationship with schoolwork in my senior year was more mature. It was different because I'd become confident that I would graduate. In the coming together of privilege and good luck, I knew that in less than a year, I'd be waving my fresh diploma in the air, feeling like an all-around A+ youth, and I knew what I wanted to do with that diploma, what career I wanted to pursue after graduating. I still have, a serious relationship with a truly wonderful person, countless friends all across the world, and a family to go home to. I knew that I was going to be fine. We all are. In this new mindset, each hardship is an opportunity for growth and self-improvement rather than failure. With faith in my future, I could live in the present, making the most of the little time that I had to relax. Lo and behold, in no time at all, I was submitting final papers, concluding work-study projects, sending thank you emails, and saying melancholy goodbyes. I was even invited to attend a ceremony just like this one to celebrate my induction into the Phi Beta Kappa Society, a society just like this one. Lo and behold, I mortarboarded across the commencement stage, shook the president's hand, and said, "So long, it's been good to know you," to my new alma mater. Diploma in hand, just another A+ youth, off to live my life some more. Let's backtrack a little now. I said I would talk about college, but I feel like I've been talking more about my band than anything else. Excusing the fact that Wood and Jelly Spoon and Peanut was a vital component of my college career, I'll talk about some of the other things I did at Colby. What else did I do? I co-founded a college club. It's called Students Organized for Animal Rights, SOAR for short, and has done valuable work generating community, conversation, and activism surrounding the topic of animal rights on campus. I gained almost 3 years of professional experience doing work study in Colby's libraries. Good stuff for my resume as I continue work in the academic library field after college. I got a scholarship from college alumni to do a month-long backpacking expedition in the North Cascades Wilderness in Washington State. I studied abroad in Athens, Greece for all of 2 months before the pandemic sent everyone home. And on that note, how well do I remember my dear friend and roommate Connor Flodden shaking me awake at 3 a.m. in the morning of March 12th saying, "John, they're closing the borders, we have to go." Well, I fled a country during college, everyone. College is crazy. But isn't everything at least a little nuts? And as for college academics, I owe a lot to this old school. Thanks to Country Day's AP course offerings, which I encourage all of you to take full advantage of, I was able to skip past the majority of my college's general requirements and focus on taking classes that interested me. I had time to explore a lot of different subjects, but I found myself drawn in particular to classics and cultural anthropology, disciplines that I eventually majored in. The classics department appealed to me because of its familiarity. There was a lot of comfort to be had in the well-trodden routine of ancient Greek grammar exercises and the slow, steady progress of Latin translations. Anthropology, on the other hand, was exciting and different. My mind was blown by every new ethnography that I read. Anthropology exposed me to a world of many levels, a world of complications, a world of contradictions, a world in which what people say and what people do and what people say they do are 3 entirely different things. At college, I began to learn how to be an anti-racist. I began to learn how to queer heteronormative narratives. I began to learn how to be a feminist. I began to learn how to problematize the power of neoliberalism. I began to learn how to act towards a post-colonialist world. I began to learn so much more. College developed old interests and inspired new callings. It has made me more of the person I'd like to be. These are journeys that all of you must embark on. College is just one setting out point among many. Live in the present, trust that you're going somewhere, walk hard, and don't look back. We're all going to be fine. It just sort of happens, you know. That's all I've got to say. If any of you naysayers want to come forward and tell me you've heard some overarching themes, or God forbid a thesis statement, keep it to yourselves. Thank you so much for listening to me, and congratulations once again.
And now as I call you